How are y'all doing today? It's your host, SDSU Schumaker, and today I'm being joined by a top 100 ranked prospect in the 2021 NBA draft, according to ESPN. He also has gone down as one of the best players in San Diego State history. After finishing up his career top 30 all time in scoring, he also finished top 5 in plus minus, third all time in three-pointers made, as well as many other top records. He also was third in the entire country last year in three-point percentage, and that's Jordan Schakel. You're finally getting ready for this draft process. I know every kid playing game of basketball dreams of this, and you're in the mix of it. Just take us through how you're feeling right now, though.
I'm feeling good. Just pretty blessed to, be able to go through this process. Something that obviously I dreamed about, and really have no complaints. It's a lot of hard work that has went into this. It's a long grind process, but I'm enjoying every moment.
Has it clicked yet? Has it clicked that you're only about a few weeks out from possibly getting your name get drafted or possibly signing an NBA contract?
I thought about it, but I don't think it'll click until, it actually happens. And I'm with my family and everything. So it would probably be a surreal moment if that does happen.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to get into this draft process and a lot more in a little bit, but I want people to get to know your story a little bit and how you ultimately became an NBA draft prospect. So we had all the way back to growing up in California. You were able to stay there throughout your entire college career now. Take us through that. What was it just growing up out there in California?
It was awesome. It kind of spoiled me being out there. Great weather, great people. But I think being in LA with all the great athletes that have come from there, football, basketball, everything just really shaped me and helped me really know what greatness is growing up. Now you have James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Kawhi, DeMar DeRozan. I know I'm going to miss, a handful of guys, but there's so many NBA players from LA, from Southern California. So I think that growing up there is just a blessing, being from that area, and it made me who I am today.
And that's a special thing because there are a few areas across the country that's low with talent. Clearly, California is one, if not the best. And like you said, not only are there the NBA stars, there's a lot of great NBA players, and even with a lot of college guys. There's a ton of college players producing all over the country from that area. And you kind of grew up with this whole area. You play with some top guys, you were playing against top guys. So in terms of basketball, what was that like?
Yeah. Some of the things that strike me is just being in high school. My junior year, we played against Chino Hills, their undefeated team twice. Team ended up having, 4 lottery picks, and probably another NBA player coming soon, maybe even another one. And then my senior year, playing against Marvin Bagley, Bull. I'm probably missing some more, but it's just the talent that you have to go through being in California. There's nothing like it, open division, and it taught me what it took to be a winner and brought that into my college career.
Now, you had some great guys in your locker room. We're talking about high school career in a little bit, but you had guys like Ethan Thompson, a lot of the big-time guys. But who was your favorite guy to go up against? Rather it be someone in your locker room, it'd be someone else on a different team. Who was your favorite guy in California to match up against?
That's a great question. I think for me, it was always playing against Santa Margarita because that's where Clay went. They always had a good team, and every time we played them, it was always a close game. No matter how good we were, no matter how good they were, it was 3-point game, 5-point game, double overtime, triple overtime every time we played. We had some crazy games, and even in exhibition games during the summer, some of the best games I ever played in was against Santa Margarita. So probably playing against them, and just trying to beat them every time. But no, it was probably them. They were always really good, really skilled, all can shoot it, play well, and it was just a great matchup for us.
So this might put you on the spot a little bit, and you might be a little biased, but clearly California is in the mix of being the best state in the country for basketball. So where would you rank them? You look at the New Yorks, the Texases, the Floridas, Michigans, where are you ranking California?
To me, it's got to be number one for sure. You just look at NBA players, overseas, look at the runs that are at UCLA. Everybody wants to come to California during the summer. Everybody wants to play here, and you can't overlook the talent that comes out of California, from G League overseas to NBA. I think it speaks for itself.
Absolutely. Well, let's head into your high school career, and you decided to go to Bishop Montgomery, who you guys had a really special 4-year run out there. You come away with 2 state championships, and you break a lot of school records. But why was it the school you chose? Like, why was Bishop Montgomery the place you wanted to live out your high school career at?
I think mainly I saw Coach Mitchell, how he develops players, how he makes them better. And I knew they had a history of winning. They were very good even before I got there. I knew about Ethan. I knew he was coming in a promising young player. I didn't know he'd grow to be one of my best friends, but I knew that we had a chance to be something special. And it was pretty close to my house. Felt like I could get there, and basketball played a big part in my choice, and they were the option. No politics really, just go there and play and do a lot of winning. That's what we did.
So if someone came to you before you stepped foot and started playing high school games and told you you're eventually become a guy that's going to break all kinds of school records, you're going to have offers to go right anywhere in the country, and eventually become a great all-time player at San Diego State, and possibly have a chance to be drafted, could you ever see that in your future? Like, did you think you were this special when you're heading into freshman year?
Um, somebody told me, I'd probably, hope that it's true. I don't know that I would really believe it. I had a lot to work on as a freshman, really, really skinny. But I always believed in myself, and my dad always told me that I'm a winner and a leader and a champion, so I believed him. And then I think I might have had some doubts, but deep down, I would hope that they were telling me the truth.
So what point did it click for you? Like, when did you start feeling that you were a special player and you could have a bright future down the road?
Um, I think maybe one of the first times was my sophomore year. We were playing Corona Centennial in the Honda Center, and I was one of the youngest players on the court. Being a sophomore, there's a lot of great players. I ended up being the leading scorer on our team and being CIF Open Division on the all division team or whatever, and just seeing my name up there with guys that I really thought were special talents. And I think that was the first time, like, man, I can really do this. Just keep working hard, and I'll have a chance.
You mentioned Ethan Thompson. He obviously has been an incredible college career at Oregon State. He's also in the draft process right now. How special do you think he was going to be? Like, did you see him being someone that's going to become a great all-time great player at Oregon State?
Yeah, he's always been a special guy. He's someone that that I look up to, in the fact that he's just so calm under pressure. He's somebody that can dunk on you and smile in your face after. He's always just calm, cool, and collected, no matter the situation. And even as a freshman, somebody that was handling the ball the majority of the time, can do a lot of things. And I think I knew he was going to be special. He came from a basketball family. And, I still think he's a special player. He's one of my best friends. And he has a bright future ahead for sure.
Now, when you get to see these guys go out and play college careers, rather be Ethan or David or any other guys we're going to talk about in a second, like, what's that like seeing? Like, when you get to go up against these guys, just see them live out their college career. What's it been like seeing that?
It's been awesome seeing it, just knowing how hard they work. David, Ethan, guys that, we've been in battles together. We've been in the trenches. David, man, that kid's one of the hardest working guys I've ever met in my life. So to see him have the success he had at UCLA, the memorable run, I just had nothing but happiness for him. Ethan as well, leading his team to the Elite Eight. I tuned into every one of those games and just watched and took it in and just rooted for my guys.
Now, when you talk about you and Ethan growing that bond throughout 4 years, how do you guys develop, guys? Dick, did you think you guys kind of clicked at the first time you guys started playing together? Did it take a couple years? Like, when did you guys start clicking and really forming that dynamic duo together?
I think when two guys that love basketball come together with high IQs. I think it doesn't take long. And then you add on the fact that we had like every class together at Bishop. We always make our schedule. So we have every class together. We're in every class, same time, literally walking around the halls together. That just adds to the level of trust and chemistry and hanging out outside of school. It makes it easier to play well on the court. It makes it more fun. Makes it easier to root for a guy. And I think it just added to every year. We both got better. We both learned how to trust each other more, how to lead a team. And I think that every year got better, and every year we kind of took a level up and won at a higher level too.
Out of every memory you two created, which one would you say is your favorite one?
Probably when he dunked on Bull, because I was out when he did that, so I was on the sideline watching. I had a perfect view of him dunking on Bull. It was a crazy moment that really ignited us, and we came back. I think we were down when he did that. We ended up coming back and winning. It was probably that, or when we played Sierra Canyon in the Galen Center. Just two surreal moments.
And he's someone that I think is going to have a pretty great career, whether it be an NBA professional. And I know right now we see a lot of mock drafts. He's not in too many of them, but he's someone that's going to be a great leader. He might earn his way that way into the NBA. But whatever team does take that gamble on him, whichever team rather drafts him, signs him after the draft, what will they be getting in Ethan Thompson?
Man, just a leader, a winner, proven at the highest level. He'll guard the best player. He'll make the right decisions. He'll make timely shots. He's always been a guy like, in practice, he might not be making the shots at the highest clip that you want, but come game time, he's making it no matter what. Like, I don't care what his 3-point percentage, free throw percentage is. You need a bucket, he's going to give it to you. Like, I believe that with all my heart. And we did it at Bishop. So you're getting a winner, a guy that you want on your team, great locker room guy, like all of the above. And underrated athlete. I mean, I don't know if people have questions about his athleticism, but I wouldn't after what he's done.
Now, let's take us through your career, because you're a guy that has become well known as one of the best shooters in the country. Obviously, you went down to one of the top all time in St. Louis State. So was that something that's always been a part of you? Like, have you always been an elite jump shooter? Has that developed over time? Like, when did that all come to you?
I don't think I've always been an elite jump shooter. I think it came in high school when me and my dad, we used to go to LA Fitness at 5 a.m. in the morning because that was the only time we could get in the gym, and really just worked on shooting, because I felt like obviously shooting is just at a premium. It was back then and it is now, and just trying to be the best shooter I could be. But growing up, I was an all-around player. I really would just do whatever we needed to win. Sometimes I'll play like Draymond. Sometimes I'll play like Dwayne Wade as one of my favorite players, like growing up. But as guys got more athletic, I realized, I could really just sit back here and knock down shots, get ready to pull up, save my energy, and be elite at that. And every team needs a guy like that. But it definitely wasn't something I was just elite shooting my whole life. I had to work at it extremely hard, and realized like that was the role I was going to play growing up. So I had to just make that what I was really good at.
Now, you can do a few of the big things. Obviously, you're a pretty good rebounder for your size, your position. You can defend pretty well too. But as we know, like, your thing that's going to make you a lot of money in the future is your shooting. And that's kind of a challenging thing, because obviously it's a lot of it's a lot of mental stuff with that. You have to obviously have a lot of high confidence, not really lose confidence, stay kind of up on yourself, even if you're missing shots. So how have you learned that? Like, how have you learned the mentality of being a shooter?
I think you learn it over time. Obviously, the more you're in the gym, the more you gain confidence, seeing the ball go in. You learn what you need to do before a game. You get better at it over time. But I think the biggest thing is just not worrying about if your shot's going in or not. You just got to keep shooting. Be happy with the way that you're shooting the ball from your mechanics standpoint. Even the great shooters, like, they can't control every shot. Not every shot goes in. They can't control that, but they can control everything up to the shot. So just trying to do that and then live with the results.
Absolutely. Let's get back into your high school career, and you kick off your freshman season. You have a pretty solid season. Obviously, still a little bit developing role, getting ready for your next seasons. But you guys go 28-3, big time season. Walk us through that freshman year for you.
Freshman year, big development year. We had a lot of pros on that team, really. Justin Bibbins, Stevie, Ethan, Christian Oshida as well, a guy that is playing professionally. So it was a learning experience trying to fit in, find my role. I came off the bench a lot, but just try to be the energy guy, make plays, and just fit in where I could.
You guys doing it, winning the Division IV championship that season. What was that like?
It was crazy because we played in the Golden One Center. First time playing in an NBA arena, brand new. I think we set the record for most points. I think we beat them by 40 plus or something like that. So it's cool to just be in the record books my freshman year. But it was just a great experience to get a win like that and moving on, knowing that we could build and keep winning.
Your sophomore year, you get a lot bigger role. You guys go 31-2 that season, and you guys add in David Singleton. Take us to that though. Like, what did David bring to the team? What was like joining him into that big three with you and Ethan?
I just remember him coming in just absolutely fearless, a guy that took and made extremely big shots, even when it might not have been like a great shot. It was a great shot for him because he would step up and knock it down with confidence, no matter what, we were going through, our situation, losing, winning, what coach was saying, like he was going to take big shots and make it. And so he brought that, just another great player, elite shooter, and a guy that you can count on.
Then you head into your upperclassmen years, your junior season, you even can take a bigger role now. You guys go 28-3 that season. You guys also had Gianni Hunt to that squad. What was his addition like? What was like playing with Gianni that year?
It was great. We would always put him on the best perimeter player. And it's funny looking back now, he was guarding Malachi Flynn. Malachi was averaging like 30 points, and he just made his life hard, picking him up full court. And we actually won that game, gave us a chance to win, but to slow down a guy like that, a first round pick, looking at it now, as a freshman is pretty incredible. Just to have that confidence, and you see it now with Oregon State. Confidence he plays with, he knocks down big shots, whatever you need. Highlight dunks, just another winning player. Can't say enough about him.
Now, I can imagine you guys had some king of the court games one-on-one before. So who would win that? Like, if we put you, we're putting Johnny on that squad. You bring Ethan out there, David. Like, who's winning one-on-one games between the four of you?
I'm gonna take myself every time, but I think we should do that. I think we should have that game for some money or something like that.
Absolutely. Well, take us to that junior year though, because you had even a bigger role that season. What was that junior year like for you?
It was good. That was the year that I think the 5 a.m. workouts really started paying off. I started making shots at a higher level, scoring a lot of points per game, being more consistent. And it was a big year for me, even though I ended with us losing the Chino Hills. But it was the year that I realized I could compete with the best of them. Just had to build off that.
As we know, that Chino team was special. As you said, you've got 4 or 5 lottery picks. There's probably some more guys that go. And then they even had a few more guys that's just really good college basketball players. So you guys also had a lot of talent too, though. But clearly we know what they all had and the hype behind their name. So what was that like? You guys step up on that court, you play them. What was that atmosphere like? What was that game like?
I remember the first time we played them at Cerritos College. It was like a movie with, I think it was tied with like 40 seconds left. Lonzo has the ball, dribbling on the top of the key. And I just look around, like I just catch a glimpse of everybody going crazy in the stands. There's people waiting outside, I think like paying the security guards to let them in, just trying to get a glimpse of like one of the best high school games of the year. I just see people waving towels, just the noise and the atmosphere was crazy. We ended up not winning that game, but I think the atmosphere is what stuck with me the most. Like, we still talk about how crazy that game was to this day.
You then hop into your senior season. You guys go 31-2. Is win Open Division Championship this year. Take us to that season, what that was like.
Yeah, it was good. It was started off rough with the opening loss, but we were coming off some injuries. Knew we just needed to get healthy. And once we hit the playoffs, we knew we had some unfinished business losing to Mater Dei and Chino Hills previous years and Sierra Canyon. Really, I felt like, it's my last chance to beat those guys. Ended up beating them all. And it just felt good to finally get over the hump and finally get the ring that we really wanted.
So who was the best team you guys played against? You mentioned Chino Hills, clearly Sierra Canyon when you got the #1 player in the country, Martin Bagley, Stanley. Like, you got a lot of different guys on that team. Ray Martin. Like, which one of those all the super teams you played was the best one in your opinion?
I mean, definitely the 30-0 or 30, the undefeated Chino Hills team, best high school team ever in my opinion. Probably Montverde with RJ Barrett, who played in Connecticut. That was probably the second best team. I know they had a couple other NBA guys on that team, but he was the main guy. And then probably Sierra Canyon after that, just all those years of elite talent.
You guys also had a freshman come onto that team that year in Bradley, who is now going to be heading out to LSU this upcoming season. What was it like playing with him, and do you think he was going to be the special as well that year?
Yeah, he always had the raw talent. We knew he had a lot to develop, but just based off potential, we knew he was going to be good. And it's been good seeing him end up bounced around a little bit, but end up at a really high level program. So I hope he does well.
Now you end up leaving your school with the most all-time wins at 118. You have 1,607 career points, 3 first-team All-CIF teams. Just when you look at your entire high school career, though, which one of those accomplishments means the most to you?
Probably just the wins because of what it took to be there for 4 years and win all the great memories that we made, great friendships that I have to this day, guys that I still talk to, and just all the great people that I met at that school, everything like that.
Let's hop in that recruiting process. As we know, you ended up going to San Diego State, and it was a great fit, perfect fit for you. But you had a lot of options on the table because you were a top 150 recruit, a 4-star. Had looks from Oregon State. You had the Stanfords, UCLA's were in the mix for you. Gonzaga's. Like, take us through this recruiting process and really what it came down to for you, and how'd you ultimately choose San Diego State?
I chose San Diego State because the relationship I had with the coaching staff. I felt like they really believed in me. They obviously are another winning program. They go to the tournament nearly every year, so it's something I can count on. If I just did my business, we would make it to the tournament, and that's what we did. Pretty much 3 out of the 4 years that I was there. But I just knew that I could count on the fan support. The Jam Center would be open 24/7. And I knew it was a place that I could get better and a place that I could grow. And the decision definitely paid off. It's one that I would do again for sure.
So who really came down to, like, was there, if you look back at, like, was there a #2 favorite school for you? Like, was there someone else in the running for you that you also were heavily considering?
Not really. Once I really understood what San Diego State, what it meant to go down there, to be a part of their program, coaching staff, everything involved, it was kind of a no-brainer for me.
We talked about Ethan a little bit, but he obviously was in your recruiting class. Did you guys ever talk about teaming up? Like, was that ever something you guys discussed? Possibly going to San Diego State, going to Oregon State, going somewhere else in the country? Like, did that ever cross you guys' minds? Did you guys talk about that?
Maybe a little bit, but I think I knew he was kind of going up there to Oregon State. His whole family was up there, so I knew it was I couldn't really compete with that. But it would have been cool to see, us in college team up and what that could have been. But I'm glad how it ended up.
some guys might say, okay, well, San Diego State might not be the biggest school. They might not have the name of a UCLA, a USC, or something like that, but it's the best fit for you. And clearly that's what's going to help you get to the next level too. So walk us through that. Like, who gave you the mindset? Was it your personal self? Was it family, coaches? Like, who kind of directed you in that path and said, I don't need to look out for the best logo, the best brand. I'm going to go the best fit for myself.
Um, I think it was a lot of good people around me that helped me make that decision, praying about it, and then just realizing that I don't really care about being, the most hyped, biggest, baddest recruit out there. That's never even been me. I just rather go to the fit place that I could really thrive in, and being like the top recruit or going to a bigger school. It sounds good, but for me, I knew that probably wasn't going to be the way I was going to go. So I just bought into going to San Diego State. And to me, I don't feel like they're a small market or mid-major. They might be in a mid-major conference, I guess, but they do high major things and they win like a high major school. So to me, it wasn't even like that.
Absolutely. Now, there was a guy that you became pretty close with over the next 4 years of your career, who's also in this process right now. Really formed a dynamic duo, one of the best duos in San Diego State history, and that's with Matt. So walk us through that. He had a little bit different journey. He wasn't a high ranked player, really blew up last second with the team. So take us to that. Like, did you know Matt growing up? Did you know him at all when this going through this process? Like, how did you get to know each other?
No, I didn't really know him that much. We played his high school team, but both me and him were sitting out that game. So I never really knew him until he came to San Diego State, and then kind of just blossomed from there. Um, he's a very good player, um, and he's proven on the court, and so it was easy to form a bond with a guy like that. Kind of opposites of each other on the court, and kind of personality. So it just kind of worked like that, and it worked well.
Now, did you guys click at first? Did it take a little bit more time to develop that relationship, or when did you guys start clicking?
Probably a little bit later because my first couple years I didn't play as much. He was a starter from day one, so really it wasn't really there to have that chemistry right off the bat. As I was working my way into the lineup and got the trust from the guys, I think that's when it started to happen.
Now, when you guys both signed, like you said, San Diego State does have a winning culture. Obviously, they had Kawhi Leonard, who's become a pretty good player in the NBA now, but you guys have really kind of revolutionized this entire program. Like, you guys took it to new heights they haven't seen before. All these tournament appearances, a 31 season. Like, you guys really did special things there. So you guys think you guys were capable of that? Like, did you think that that recruiting class could eventually lead to all the success?
Yeah, I didn't really think about it like that. Just try to take it, one step at a time. I think that before the 30-2 season or whatever it was, I think we knew we had something special brewing. I didn't know. We definitely didn't think it was going to be like that. But the way we were playing in practice, the attitudes guys had, just wanted to win and do whatever it took. And then just us off the court, always being together. There was no drama. I think we knew we had something special, but never really know. You never know that you're going to win 30 games or go 27-0 or whatever the case may be. You just take it one step at a time.
Obviously, you're with one coach for 4 years as well, and that's Coach Dutcher. So what was like growing that bond? How did you guys grow over the past 4 years? And just what was like getting to know him and really form that duo with him?
It was great being his first class that he coached. My first year was his first year as a coach. So it was great seeing the growth that he made as a coach, how he led us and brought us to where we were, and how I grew as a person. It was kind of like we grew together. It was a learning experience for both of us. And I think that it was awesome just to be in that perspective of getting better each year. I think he was a better coach each year, and I was a better player each year. And learning what he likes to do and how he coaches, and then being able to go back to the team in a locker room and help guys understand where he's coming from and help guys understand what they need to do to get on the court. I think it was an awesome experience.
Now, as you mentioned too, like we're gonna go to your season a little bit more in a second, but you didn't start any games your freshman season, started about half of it your sophomore season, then eventually upperclassmen years you start getting a bigger role. But how did your relationship with him stay strong? Did you guys still stay close? Were you a little confused? Did you want more minutes as a freshman and sophomore? Like, how did you guys bond go as well while you're an underclassman?
Um, I remember there's some times where I was frustrated I wasn't playing. I went to his office to talk to him, like what's going on.
Mhm.
But he always gave me a chance to prove myself, and that's all I needed was just a chance, and he gave it to me. And every year I just got better and kept proving myself and kept getting a longer leash and more responsibility. And he let me grow as long as I just kept getting better and kept being about the right thing. So I appreciate that from him.
Now, a lot of guys that were former 4 stars, 5 stars, especially, like if they're not getting a lot of run their freshman season, they might look to transfer. Obviously, we saw a lot this past summer, and there's a lot of different reasons that guys do transfer too. But did that ever cross your mind? And if so, like just how close did it ever get to happening?
Um, I thought about transferring even to high school. Things aren't going well. You might, man, I should go somewhere else. Looks better over there. This guy's doing well, this and that. But then you just realize like how good you have it where you're at. Number one, you realize that if you go over there, you're going to still have problems. You're going to still have things that you need to overcome. And I just felt like with everybody transferring, that's just not in my nature to do something like that. It never has been. And I just felt like just stick it out. There's always going to be issues. There's always going to be problems wherever you're at. Like going somewhere else doesn't really make it better. It can help for a little while, but I feel like just staying where I'm at and proving myself and being as good as I can at San Diego State was how I wanted to finish out.
So when did you and Coach Dutch click? Like when did you guys first start building that bond where it's like you guys were on the same page?
Probably like the start of my sophomore year when I just got a lot better and he could trust me as a defender. I could always play on offense, but college game, defensively took a little bit longer for me to understand concepts and be in the right place and not foul every time. And I think just showing him that he could trust me on defense, that's what I needed to show. And came in sophomore year, and I was better. I was a lot better than freshman year, so he could finally leave me out there a little bit longer.
Now you guys got to create a lot of memories I can imagine over a 4 year span. But which one stands out the most to you? Like what's the funniest or your favorite memory with Coach Dutch over 4 years?
There's a lot. He's a funny guy, funny coach. I think just how happy he was after every championship we won. It just struck me as it stuck out to me because of how much he appreciates every time that you do accomplish your goal. He's a guy who's won a national championship. He's been around elite guys his whole career. And he's still excited when we win a tournament in Vegas or we win Mountain West Championship or we win regular season. Like he doesn't take anything for granted. And I think that rubs off on us. And it just hit me how excited he was after every time we won. No matter if it was a team we're supposed to beat by 30 and we won by 10, he'll tell us that we need to do better. But at the same time, he understands that a win is a win.
Absolutely. Let's head into this college career for you. Your freshman season, you guys go out there, 22 win season, pretty solid overall year. You guys win the Mountain West Championship, like you said. Take us to that freshman year for you.
Yeah, freshman year, it was pretty challenging for me mentally. New situation, new city. I got some run early, and then Jalen McDaniels came on the scene. I really started playing well, and I found minutes here and there, but I think it was a great learning experience. Learn what it was like to be in college, what it was like to play in big games, and be confident in myself and learning from guys like Trey Keller and Malik Pope, the seniors on that team. They led us to conference tournament, championship, and postseason as well. So I think I learned a lot from them.
You kind of discussed it a little bit, but that mentality is something that you really can kind of decide which one you go on. When you're not getting a lot of minutes, some guys might complain, be upset about it. Others, you kind of said like you looked up towards the defensive end, like you want to improve on certain areas, you developed your game, got ready for the future. So who kind of led you on that mindset? Like, was that self-motivated? Was that family? Like, who kind of told you and led you to say, stay locked in and just keep pushing through it?
I think it was coaches, parents, mentors, everybody. It doesn't help if you're not playing. If you're just going to sit there and pout, you're not getting any better.
Mhm.
I always like to get better, even when things are going well. So when things aren't going well, it's easier to just go in the gym and block out the noise and just try to get better.
Then came into your sophomore season. You get, like I said, about 16 starts that season, just about half of the games. You guys go 21-13, another great season. Walk us through that year for you.
Yeah, that was a good year. Finally got on the court, started, proved myself to the coaches, and that was a good year. It set the rest of my career up there, just showing that I could play at a high level, that I could get better every year, and help the coaches trust me.
When we look at the whole career projection you end up having, like I said, third all time, 3 points made, a lot more different accomplishments. Did you expect that in your career, like even at this point when you didn't have too many points per game you're averaging, not too much of a role, do you think you're still gonna be able to wrap up your career with this kind of legacy you put together?
I didn't really think about it that much. I just tried to get better, um, and I figured that everything else would work itself out. Um, I just tried to worry about being consistent, try to get to averaging 10 points a game. That was a big mark for me. Trying to be in double figures.
Mhm.
Try to get as many rebounds as I can and play good on defense. So that's what I was worried about.
And you also mentioned someone else that became another NBA player throughout this product and what Coach Dutch has been able to put together, and that's Jalen McDaniels, who really started coming on the scene this past year at Charlotte as well. But walk us through that. Like he redshirted his first year, but he was a redshirt freshman with you guys in that recruiting class. So what was like seeing him develop over the 2 years you were out there, and just what was like seeing how special he ended up becoming in the NBA now?
It's awesome seeing him um, become everything we knew he could be. Just an absolute NBA prospect. Just by looking at him, you can tell he has stuff that you can't teach. That's his touch around the rim and his motor as well. Um, he's at his best when he's at the rim for putbacks, blocking shots, sprinting the floor, just outrunning the other big man. And when he does that, he's really, really good. You can always count on him. Um, yeah, we knew he was, we knew he was a prospect. We knew he was what the NBA wants and needs,
Mhm.
and it was just going to be up to him how far he wanted to take it. But we knew how good he was.
You had another guy come in that I think will have a shot depending on how his senior year goes. That's Nathan Mensah, who's going to have a pretty good season next year as well. But as well as like adding him into that group and what's it been like kind of seeing the way he's developed and come onto the scene, especially this past year.
Yeah, it's been great. One of my good friends as well. I think he's one of the best defenders in the country. Not many bigs make free throws at the percentage that he does, and I think he has what it takes to be an NBA player prospect. Hopefully he has a great year this year. I think he will, but he's another guy, just one of my good friends.
Now, sophomore year would be pretty crazy too because you got you and Matt, who we talked a little bit about. You obviously had Jalen McDaniels out there. Malachi Flynn's coming in, and he redshirted before he goes out and plays his final season with you guys. Just what are those practices like though? When you get to go up against a guy like Malachi, you go up against a guy like Jalen or any of these other pro prospects. Like, what are those practices like?
They're really intense. It's crazy when you have Malachi on scout team, and he's better than the player that you're going to play the next day. So there's a couple of times we're frustrated, like, how are we going to stop so and so? We're playing tomorrow, but then we have to realize, like, oh, okay, it's Malachi. Guy we're playing tomorrow isn't as good, but he prepared us really well that year on scout team, and being able to have that type of guy, that's coming in next year, gives you confidence.
So, what was your favorite practice moment? Like, you look at all your 4 years there. Like, what was the favorite practice that you had throughout your 4 years there?
My favorite practice, um, it was with Malachi. We were playing BYU, and Malachi probably had 45 in practice on everybody. And we were worried about how are we going to guard these guys, but when it came the next day, we were over prepared because of how well he had played in the practice before getting us ready, and so we ended up winning that game.
Now, he was a guy that had a pretty solid career before the time at San Diego State, but clearly he took his game to a whole bunch of levels up. He became a first-round NBA draft pick. He's now having a great role with Toronto Raptors. But did you see that happen? We were seeing the way he also took off at the scout team and then became a leader of a team as your junior season. Did you see that all unfolding? And just what was like seeing that all unfold in front of you guys?
We knew how good he was. You can't really predict the type of season anybody's going to have or anything like that. But we knew how good he was, how hard he worked, and we knew something special was going to happen. And it ended up probably exceeding anybody's expectations.
Let's hop in your upperclassman year and probably your most favorite season in terms of just production, 30-2 season, 26-0 start that season off. Just walk us through the summer, though. You guys are getting ready. Malachi's able to play. He's your guys' point guard. You get a big opportunity. You become the full-time starter for the team. Matt's kind of bouncing in and out of the six-man role and then becomes the starter. But just take us through this whole team. Leading up to the season, before you guys play games, what was putting this whole roster together?
I think it was just a battle every practice. We had KJ, Fagan, Yanni, Wetzel. Everybody was going at it every practice. And I think that's have a competitive nature. There's times where we couldn't score. There's times where it was a fight, literal fight, guys getting into it. But, I don't know if we knew we were going to do what we did because when we play defense in practice, it kind of be frustrating sometimes. Nobody's scoring. You're wondering, are we even good? What's going on? And then we get to the games and realize that the way we play defense, not many other teams do what we do, try that hard for as long as we do. So I think it was when we started winning 5-0, 6-0, we're like, oh, okay, I guess we're pretty good. We kept working in practice and then had that type of year that we did.
So what if someone came and told you guys before the year started, you guys were going to go 30-2 in the season? I think you guys would have had at least a couple weekends into that tournament run, had you guys had the NCAA tournament. And you guys also going to start off 26-0, something that I don't know how many teams have ever done before. But what would you guys' reaction be? Could you guys have possibly seen it happening? Would you guys have been completely shocked? What would you guys' reaction as a team have been?
We'd probably just take it and run with it. Probably try to beat what you said, try to do better than what you told us. We're only going to go 26-0, let's go 30-0 or something like that. That's just the type of mindset that we had. Feeling like that we're better than what people are saying about us. We're watching games on Saturday morning, watching teams that are ranked higher than us, thinking, we can beat these guys. Finally got a chance to in Vegas, and that was kind of the weekend that we realized, how good we really were.
When we talk about the development process, all you guys that were either 4 stars, 5 stars, or not even 5 stars, a lot of 4 stars, guys that weren't really ranked to recruit out of high school. Now you guys all become pros. You guys have become, even guys having the opportunity to play pro. That's all really a big thing that Coach Dutch has been able to do. He develops guys at an incredible rate. So how does he do that? What's the summer? What's this throughout the season? How does Coach Dutch develop guys into pro players?
I think it starts off when he gets guys that really want to work hard, no matter what their talent level is, and then creates a winning culture. Guys come in early in the morning every day before practice, get their work in, and it just becomes contagious. Everybody wants to even if you're not a hard worker, you don't want to be outworked by somebody trying to take your spot. So then it forces people who might not put in time in the gym if they didn't have to. Now they have to because they don't want to get their spot taken. Now everybody's in the gym, and now everybody's fighting over time to be in the gym because there's not that many courts, and this creates a competitive nature that just rubs off on everybody, including the coaches.
Now, as you guys built that win streak, and you guys are kind of going back and forth. I know the map became pretty famous that season. You guys in Auburn really going back and forth for the first 20 games of the season. Just how do you guys embrace that? Like you guys, I can imagine you guys were well aware of what Auburn's doing as well. Obviously wanted to get the longer streak between you two. Like how was that just like looking at the map and seeing how you guys kept winning games night in, night out?
I think we were less worried about the map and more so worried about winning in the tournament. If we had to lose a game, we would much rather have it be in the regular season than in the tournament. So we weren't too worried. We were like, if we're gonna lose now, let's just lose now. Everybody's gunning for your head. Everybody wants to beat you so bad. They're playing guys that can't shoot threes are hitting 7 a game against you, stuff like that, stuff you can't control. So like, we weren't really worried about this streak at all. We ended up winning, beating Auburn and winning whatever it was, and we got the map shirt. It was pretty cool, but we would have much rather, wanted the postseason tournament championship rather than that.
Well, take us through that because you guys didn't get a chance to play in the tournament because of COVID, shut down the tournament bracket. Have that team. The team was 30-2 that year. That had all the talent, all these NBA pro prospects on it. Had you guys win the tournament, probably would have been a 1 or 2 seed that year. How far could you guys have gone?
Looking at it now, we probably could have gone all the way. I think that Baylor team, seeing them this year, Gonzaga was really, really good. But other than that, I think we're up there with the best of them. Especially coming off the loss in the conference tournament championship, I think we would have been so much more hungry, so much more determined, and had a lot to prove going into the tournament. But I guess we'll never know what happens now.
Now, when you guys found out that everything's getting shut down and COVID came into play and shut everything out, how did you guys learn about that and what was your guys' reaction at the moment?
We were in practice, and they kind of just came in there and told us it was going to get canceled. At the time, though, we just thought it was going to get postponed. So we weren't too upset about it. We felt like we had more time to prepare. And then you start seeing everything going on in the world, and you realize that probably going to get canceled. And it kind of hits harder the older you get. But at the time, we were sad, but wanted to just enjoy the rest of the time we had, on campus. But I think the older you get, the more you realize like what opportunity that was, and just would like to have seen how it would have played out.
Well, something obviously changes then from that season to your senior year and end up you really get the keys to the team. It becomes you and Matt as the go-to guys now. You guys get a chance to lead this team to the tournament. As Malachi goes pro, a lot of different changes happen. And there's something else bigger than that, though, too. You obviously changed up your hairdo. You now kept it now for a little bit, too. So walk us through take us through the hair change and what led to that over the summer.
I think it was just everybody in quarantine. Barbers were shut down. I didn't have any reason to get a cut, saving money at the same time. So I was just like, man, what else could I do? Ended up doing it, keeping it. I thought I was gonna be the only one that did it, but that was silly of me. But yeah, just leading up into that season, trying to just play our best for the guys that didn't get to go to the tournament, like KJ, Yanni, Nolan, all those guys that didn't get to go. We just want to make the tournament for them.
And we kind of talked about Matt a little bit, but this is really where you guys form that duo, really the past 2 seasons, but this year especially. So how much did you guys grow this past year together? Like really being the vocal points of the team, having to lead them on and off the court. You guys have been here for 3 years. You guys know what to do. Go-to guys. Like, how did you embrace that role with you and Matt together?
We had to embrace it if we wanted to be good. And it's easy to play with a guy like that, somebody who is very aggressive, kicks out, looks for you, and both plays defense. Like just being leaders vocally and in practice, leading by actions as well. I think it was easy for us to make the transition.
Now you had 4 years with Matt, 4 years with Ethan. Which one of the 2 duos would you say is the best one?
Wow, that's a great question. I can't even say. I have to leave that up to anybody who's watching. They could vote on that one. I can't even say, to be honest. I can't choose.
Absolutely. Well, you obviously really evolved as a three-point shooter this year as well. You ended up becoming a 46% three-point shooter. Walk us through that shooting. Like, how did you get so lost in throughout a pandemic season this past year?
I think it was just confidence, knowing that I was going to be able to take whatever shot I wanted. Um, Knowing that plays are going to be run for me, and that if I miss one, I'm going to get through more. And really just not worrying about if they win it or not, just shooting the right shot and being confident in myself. And I think there was one point I was shooting under 40% last year, and I just stayed confident, knew that if I kept shooting, good things were going to happen. And we were able to get in the gym a little bit more at the end of the year. And so just was able to pick my spots more, but just mostly just confidence, not really worrying about, not stressing like, oh, I'm 0 for 1, my percentage went down. Like, just keep shooting. Like, at the end of the day, it could be 0 for 3, and then you make 5 in a row, and now you're 5 for 8. So, made shots add up quick.
Now, you guys obviously were able to get to the NCAA tournament this year, and you guys go into the bubble, which obviously a lot of people had mixed thoughts on that one. Not a lot of people really enjoyed it for the most part, but take us through your experience. Like, how did you enjoy, or what was the bubble experience like for you?
I didn't enjoy it at all. I actually got like food poisoning for our game, so it wasn't fun for me. But it was a great experience still. Just being there, I mean, that's probably the only time ever going to have that type of bubble situation. So I guess it was cool being there, but not the way we wanted to end our season, our career, but still feel blessed to be there, be a part of it.
So you had to go up against in that game with food poisoning then?
Yeah.
So how did you deal with that thing? Because you guys obviously going through a tournament, obviously you probably want to be 100%. Like, how did you handle that?
Don't really have a choice. Try to play your best. Drink a lot of water, but no, it doesn't really affect you with the adrenaline going during the game. And that was actually one of the first games where fans could come. So it was the only game of the year my parents actually were able to go to. So I wasn't going to let that affect me too much.
Absolutely. Well, you look back now at your entire San Diego State career, all the accomplishments, all the wins, everything you put together now throughout your history and your record you put. Which one means the most to you, and what was like your favorite thing that you accomplished throughout your career?
Probably just this last year, everything that we had to go through. Just, man, it was so much stuff. Just being able to see it through and have a good year. Everything that we went through, from shutdowns to teams canceling to no fans, everything that last year entailed, just making it through in one piece. That's my biggest accomplishment.
Now you look at the Mountain West, and that is a conference that I think is super underrated. I think you might look at the Power 6 schools, they're all big, have a lot of great teams. But you look at the West Coast Conference, the A10, the Mountain West are 3 elite mid-major quote-unquote conferences. So when you look at that, though, there's been a lot of great players and pros you've gone up against all your 4 years. Who would you say would be the top 5 players that you've gone up against in the Mountain West the past 4 years?
The Martin twins. Probably Kada and Merrill, and then Chandler Hutchinson had some great games against us as well.
Absolutely. Last thing before we get into this NBA draft process for you is obviously it's going to be a new era of San Diego State basketball. They don't have you or Matt there, to the cornerstones for the past 4 years. So what does the future hold? Like, what do you expect for this team to be able to get done now, moving forward, and most specifically now this upcoming season?
I expect them to be really good. I expect them to be just as they were the past 4 years. They recruited, they re-up. The staff does a great job getting guys ready. It'll just depend on how much those guys want to buy in and how they perform. But I expect them to win. win just like they have these past 4 years.
But who's a breakout candidate? Like, is there someone or a couple guys even in that locker room that you think will have a huge jump now to kind of take on a much higher role?
Yeah, Keyshawn for sure, Lamont, two guys that I expect to be really good next year, and Nate Mensah as well. Of course, Matt Bradley coming in transferring. We know how good he is, but the guys that I know personally, I think those guys are going to take a big jump.
Absolutely. Let's get into this draft process now, because obviously we're a couple weeks out from the NBA draft happening. We've got a couple different workouts in so far. Take us through how it's going to, like, just walk us through this draft process, what your workouts have been like, who they've been with, and just take us through that a little bit.
Yeah, I've been to Warriors, Utah, Boston, Oklahoma, Phoenix, and Minnesota. They've all been good. It's kind of the same setup each time, but I enjoy it. It's just another opportunity, and they've been really good. I've been happy with how I played, shot the ball, so got a couple more, and I'm looking to take advantage of those as well.
So how do you prepare, and like what kind of mindset heading into those? Because this is your dream. You're playing in front of NBA coaches and GMs. Like, what's your mindset and how do you prepare for those?
Just trusting the workouts that you've done, the work that you put in. Trainers that I've been working with, they pretty much give us the answers to the test. And so, you just gotta go out there and take the test. At that point, it's the fun part. The training is the part that sucks, that you push your body and mind to the limit. But after that's over, the games, the workouts are supposed to be fun. So they've been a lot of fun.
At the end of the day, you're either going to get drafted or you'll be signed after the draft to some deal. So whenever that does happen, though, whatever team does eventually invest in you, what are they going to be getting in Jordan Schakel?
They're going to be getting a winner, a guy that competes at a high level, makes shots, makes free throws, clutch player. I'm just going to do whatever they ask and do it as well as I can.
Is there a player you compare yourself to? Like, is there someone that you take pieces from, put into your game, or someone you think you play a lot like?
Being a knockdown shooter, there's only a handful of those in the league. I like watching Devin Booker, Klay Thompson, Joe Harris, Cam Johnson, guys like that. I don't really think about myself as being like any of those guys, but I try to take, things that they do well and put them into my game, and just try to be solid, make open shots, not do anything too crazy. I definitely like watching all those guys, and especially, Devin Booker, this run he's been on, it's been crazy. So trying to take what I can from his game and put it into mine.
So we know you're a shooter. Also, you've been able to rebound pretty well for your position, your size. But what else have you improved on? Like, since the last time we saw you play in the bubble against Syracuse, what else have you added onto your game, and what else have you really improved on since then?
Creating my own shot, ball handling, defense, just being able to guard guys at full court, just being smart, and just shooting from that NBA line is different, but trying to be as consistent as I was from the college line as I am as the NBA line.
You mentioned the winning mentality you bring in. You won the most wins in school history in high school. You just came out with one of the most wins in school history once again at San Diego State now. What is that winning mentality, though? Like, how do you come out and win game after game throughout your basketball career?
It's just a mindset of not settling for mediocrity, trying to be great in everything you do. If it's shooting free throws at the end of practice, you got to try to make every single one. You got to be locked in at all times and trying to make sure your teammates understand that, bring them along, try to be a leader. And, when the game starts, just go out there and win. It's something that I've done my whole life. So it's kind of second nature to me.
If you could pick one point guard in the entire NBA to get you a pass, get you open for a shot, and you're to knock down a shot from, who's that one point guard you'd be most excited to receive a pass from?
Probably Rondo, because I was watching back when he was in Boston. I was watching Ray Allen highlights and some of those crazy passes he used to give Ray Allen. So probably one of those. Probably from him.
As for Matt, he's also going through this draft process as well. So whatever team is investing in him, what will an NBA team be getting in Matt Mitchell?
A hard worker, you gotta do whatever you ask. Somebody who has that mentality of he's gonna get it done. He's also a winner. He's won everywhere he's been, and I think they'll be happy with what they get.
Now, we don't know how it's all going to unfold, but obviously there is a possibility that one of the 30 teams in the NBA invest in both you two. So you guys could keep that duo together. What would that be like?
That would be pretty cool. I don't know if we would both be on the court at the same time or whatever, but it would be cool to have somebody that you know on the team in the same city, going through the same things that you are. So that would be pretty cool.
Absolutely, man. Well, if you want to do before I let you go, I want to wish you something you have in your bio. You say, "No weapon formed against me shall prosper." Take us through what that means to you and why you have that there.
That's just showing my faith in Jesus and just what I'm about, kind of a snippet of what I believe in and what gets me through, and just who I am. So it's like kind of something that I put out there for people to notice and inquire, and that's just who I am.
Now go a little bit deeper in your faith. I know you are a believer, so how would you say God's helped get you to the point you're at today?
I think just through every life experience is a lesson. A lesson. I think earlier in my career, I wasn't really taking everything as a blessing. Felt like I deserved more than what I had, or why does this guy have this or this guy have that? And I've been humbled a number of times in my career, and now I realize that just breathing, being alive is a blessing. Being able to eat food, have a roof over your head. And so anytime I'm able to go out there and play basketball, something that I love to do, I just feel blessed and try to have fun with it and try to be joyful and bring my teammates along with me.
So when would you say you really formed that bond with God? Like, when did you start realizing God and really form that one-on-one connection with Him?
Probably towards the end of my high school career. I've been going to church my whole life, but probably towards the end of my high school career, I started growing into who I am today, being a man, taking it seriously, and it's been a great journey so far.
Going forward, what do you want to do for His kingdom, and how do you plan to be able to be a light to God's kingdom going forward?
Just whatever team I'm on, just staying strong, being a light, like you said, help my teammates along. They're going through something. Just doing whatever I can, using my platform and providing, hope for everyone who comes across, what I do in person, taking the time to meet people and get to know their struggle. Just doing whatever I can.
Amen, man. Well, my final things I was like wrapping up discussing is building a legacy for yourself. And I know that all guys want to remember for something. So when you do wrap up your basketball career, whenever that day does come, what do you ultimately want to be remembered for what you achieved both on and off the court?
I guess being a great teammate, being somebody who wins, who wants to see his friends win in life, and it doesn't really take mediocrity. Like, I just want to be great. That means being a great father, like my dad was. That means being a great teammate. Just trying to be the best at what you're giving. Where you are in your life. You don't need to have a platform, like LeBron does to be great. You can be great at, driving the bus every day. You're on time. It's not that deep. Like, just trying to help people be great in whatever they're doing.
Absolutely, man. Well, my final thing for you, from 1 year from today, if we were to talk again, what do you want to accomplish? Like, what's everything you want to get done and accomplish in the next year?
That's a great question. Man, I'd probably just want to be at peace with what I'm doing. Being able to use my platform to help people wherever I'm at. I don't know where I'm going to be. Not so much success on the court, because I can't really control that. But as long as I'm a better basketball player and a better person 1 year from now, then I'll be happy with whatever I'm doing.
Absolutely, man. Well, I definitely appreciate you taking time to come on today. I'm excited to see what God got next for you, man. And best luck with the rest of the draft process.
Thank you. I appreciate you for having me on.
Of course, man. You're also welcome, mine. God bless.
You too.